white with now ding marks all over the shows. I'm gonna do it. I just haven't done it yet. Oh, no. We just
That's what I was wondering about. It's like, wait, you got a building? How did you do that?
no, I got it here installed. It's big money.
Yeah, I know.
Freaking $15,000 in our account for tea. Okay, Nicole, you ready? Yes, we can for tea and coffee. All right. I call this meeting to order, dated October 3rd, 2023. It is now 7:03. Roll call, please.
Trustee Zazzaro.
Here.
Trustee Hartz.
Here.
Trustee Moreland.
Here.
Trustee Thomas.
Here.
Trustee Wolf.
Here.
Trustee Ah.
Here.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Here. All right, would everybody please rise for the pledge? All right, does the board have any conflicts of interest to announce at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to general public input. If anybody has anything they would like to address the board about that is not on the agenda, feel free to step forward, state your name and address for the record. Okay. Where are we? So we had, sorry. Did everybody get a chance to look at the agenda? Yes.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Zazzaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, up next, we have a presentation on the homecoming community grant request. Katie, did you have anything you wanted to?
Well, I believe the applicants are here.
All right.
So we do have, in the homecoming, there's about $300 worth of public safety. That's a moving barrier for the homecoming parade that, or the route that was approved and coordinated with town staff, and they're requesting $500.
Okay. Would the applicant like to step forward and address the board? Just state your name and address for the record.
Sure. Amy McGlinnis, I'm the principal at Bayfield High School, 336 Mesa Drive.
I'm Tanya Thayer, the student council advisor at the high school. My address is 427 East Lakeside Drive.
We have proposed a change in our homecoming parade route this year in an effort to improve some safety where we are staging and finishing near the high school so we don't have students kind of off campus and downtown and some back and forth. If you've ever been downtown for the homecoming parade, there's a lot of what feels like chaos getting kids off floats and back to the high school. And the effort is also to kind of draw the parade back to our campus so folks who are closer and maybe then will want to stay on campus and enjoy the festivities for the evening. So that does make it a little bit longer, and it does put up some extra intersections that we are going to need some help with making sure are safe as we're moving through. We had a wonderful meeting with Dustin and Jeremy and Chief Hoge in planning this and just kind of learning the needs and making sure our route is safe so that our kids can enjoy their homecoming.
So I think the question is, the public safety portion is 300 and the request is for 500. Just we're interested in where the other.
We weren't sure what the total amount was going to come in at, so.
Right.
We were under the impression that there would be some public service employee wages that maybe were required for the intersections, as well as some public safety. So we wanted to make sure any expenses were covered.
So it's the Dustin and Katie.
I'll have to refer to Dustin.
The town requirement is 300
Yes.
for this to cover that?
Correct.
Okay. Is there any other questions from the board? I appreciate you going through this with us. I mean, I think you saw what happened if you were at the Heritage Days. I think there was way more people than anyone thought was gonna be there, and I'm glad that we had a plan and that streets were properly shut down because, you know, that also used to be kind of a free-for-all in the past,
Yeah.
so.
Yep,
I
we're
just want-
really looking for student safety and enjoyment of the event, so
Thank you.
that's why we're here. Yep.
Is there any questions from the board? If the $300 is the ask, I would entertain a motion to cover that public safety portion.
I would like to make a motion to approve the $300 grant for the student council.
Yeah, second that.
All right, any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Cesaro.
Yes.
Trustee Harts.
Yes.
Trustee Marlin.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. Maybe we could throw 200 extra bucks to the senior center.
Thank you. We thank you for your support.
Be posting the updated route online for people?
Yes,
Cool.
we sure will. Thank you
All right,
very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. I'm going to pause the regular meeting and open up our public hearing. We have the public hearing for a special event liquor application for the Be Frank Foundation, and I know we do have the applicant here. So,
Well, and it's rare that I've had the opportunity, sorry, Lecky Sinowitz, Executive Director of the Be Frank Foundation and founder. And this is our 10th annual Frankenstein event this year, pending your approval, of course. 409 South Mesa Avenue, Bayfield. And I haven't had many opportunities to stand in front of you and just say thank you. It has been a community effort for us to really bring people together. We bring people from Durango. We have 9 schools that are going to be participating this year on a giant stage downtown. We are done with the pumpkin smashing. My back, now that I'm well into my 40s, my back can't handle that anymore. But it really brings communities together and shows the folks in Durango how great our community is. And that's a lot of our efforts through music to be able to unite people. We live in such a divisive world at times, you know, depending on what we're talking about. But with music and sometimes beer, you know, we're not picking many fights with those couple of things. The one minor change that we've made with our liquor license this year, instead of having a standalone beer tent area or beer garden, is we're just going to have all the beer being sold by the certified taps, certified professionals at Bottom Shelf Brewery, and just extending like a bump out that you see in Durango, that the garden to make it a little bit more, you just have a little bit more elbow room there. So we could have approached it a couple different ways, but to make sure that we're in good graces with you guys, to get the opportunity to extend my appreciation to all of you, and brag a little bit that the block parties, Chris LeMay came to me 5 years ago after doing Frankenstein for multiple years, and he's like, I want to do this thing, but you've already been doing it, so will you help us do it? And so we ran an entire season for the town, and hope to get chosen as a beneficiary in the future.
careful, you might get recruited.
So anyway, unless there's any further questions or.
Well, so like, and then at 6, kind of all the outside activities kind of all go inside, or that bump out kind of, you can't drink in that bump out after 6? Is that
Exactly,
okay.
yeah.
That's how I was understanding it.
Depends on which version of the flyer you saw.
Yeah, that's why I was a little bit
Sorry about
confused. So. Staff have any comments?
No? We're happy you do that and bring it to the community, so.
Does the board have any questions or comments? I will go ahead and see if there's any public comment at this time. And if there's none, I'll go ahead and close our public hearing.
Could I mention one more thing?
Yeah, sure.
And something new that Dustin, welcome. We've been hit with the barricade fees, and we understand and prioritize the safety of our kids and our community. all the time. But would like, Dustin's brought to attention some grant funds that may be available to offset that down the road, and we're going to look into that. But as we continue to work towards building communities and public events, especially for nonprofit organizations, consider some nonprofit pricing,
Yeah,
maybe, or ways for us to make it more feasible for,
We've been talking about that as a
Okay.
board as well. Yeah,
Cool.
no, thanks for bringing that up.
yeah, of course. Thank you.
All right, so I will close the public hearing, and we will move on to our liquor license approvals. So, liquor license approval for the B. Frankenstein event, October 21st. If there's no more questions from the board.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the liquor license for B. Frank's event on October 21st.
Second.
All right, what's that? Roll call, please.
Trustee Cesaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, thank you for being here as well. All right, moving on to our budget work session on September 19th, attendance roster. If you'll look that over, and if you think it looks good as posted, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the September 19th work session roster as provided.
I'll second.
All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Cesaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, moving on to our minutes from September 19th, 2023, from the regular scheduled meeting. Did everybody get a chance to look those over?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes dated September 19th, 2023.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Cesaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, moving on to our town manager report. Katie, would you like to provide the highlights of your report?
Sure. So I think we've already talked about the budget. We've had some transitional conversion, a little chaos earlier when we got started. Kind of everybody finding their stable place in the transition between parks and recreation to parks and trails, and then having recreation and culture and the senior center. And at this date, I think it's going really well. I want to make sure that we can kind of continue on this path. The budget that you saw earlier is based on having an HR director, a culture, resources, and recreation director, and senior center director. I think, we all know that Carrie's very independent, very efficient and effective at the senior center. And at this point, I think it's going really well. So a lot less stressful, opening up those communication and making sure, okay, you may not be doing this, but maybe you need to train somebody to do this until we kind of get settled. So that, or we're moving in a much more confident everyday operation. I did meet with Guy Patterson, who's the new Forest Lakes Metro District Manager, and he said if there is something we work on together to save funds or whatever, he would be interested. So anyway, and then the health insurance, that document there basically is no longer good because we got new rates after this packet was put out. So that's where we're at today.
All right. Board have any questions? All right, we'll move on. Mark, he added his report. There's a paper that you got with your packet today.
Yeah, so operations are going normal, maintenance of parks and ground and lawn maintenance. We did do a little project on the south field, we added 12 additional sprinkler heads, about 600 feet of trenching and pipe to get complete coverage on that field. We've got that all completed and all the ditches are covered and reseeded. So we're glad to get that done. The irrigation ditch was turned off last week. So we're hoping to get the water tap. I think Public Works just has a few more parts that they're waiting on. So we're going to try to get that done before temperatures get too cold. Been having a lot of problems with the gophers. Their activity has been extremely high. We've been getting little mounds everywhere. We did have some success with San Juan Wildlife Services last week. They came out and spent a full day, and so far we're not seeing as much activity as we've been, so I think they may have got them this time. We are going to be draining all the irrigation systems and blowing them out on the 16th of October, as well as the bathrooms. So bathrooms will be shut down on October 16th. I believe, Dustin, your sports is done on the 13th, so that should work out perfectly for soccer and flag football. I'm sure you've noticed the construction on 160 across from Little Pine and all the equipment and stuff, so that's going. We did make a deal with the contractor to remove all the dead cottonwood trees in exchange for using our property for their equipment and their materials, so we're happy about that. That'll save us a lot of money. We have a couple dead trees in Eagle Park. It's Colorado blue spruce. I've been trying to revive that tree, and it just seems to be getting worse. The whole one side of it is dead, so we're going to try to remove that and an elm tree that's also growing right underneath the power line at Eagle Park. So I've got 2 bids on that. I'm waiting for one more to move forward and look at getting those trees removed this fall. Yeah, I believe that's it, other than just normal stuff.
So all the ditches have been shut off for the season?
The bean ditch.
Just, okay.
I'm not sure whether the Schroeder and all the. Schroeder's off, yeah. So it
Tis the-
seems like
tis
they
the
all.
season.
Yeah,
And we
it's
got
there.
rain.
It's getting cold, so it's time to start shutting all that stuff down.
Nice. It's good to see all the kids on the soccer field again. so
Yeah,
it's gonna-
and the soccer field actually is improved a ton. So the work that we had done is really showing now. So I think what we're going to try to do next year is use the same material but apply it ourselves and save some money on the south field and try to get that same
Result.
result on the south field, and then continue to do it in the other parks as well. So.
Nice. All right, does the board have any questions for Mark?
No.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, guys.
We'll move on to Dustin, town clerk report.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Board of Trustees. Yeah, the soccer fields do look great. I've been running around refereeing on them. They haven't fallen down or anything, but yeah, they look great. So we hired a new recreation coordinator. DJ Pacheco has started. He had a great first week learning about the soccer weekends, referee staffing, and just all the moving parts that come along with that. We also did a field trip. We went down. I kind of showed him the layouts of block parties, things like that. But we're on our way to BSB to really look at where the barricades and things would go for the Frankenstein event, as well as hang the public notice for the hearing tonight. We ended signups for 5th and 6th grade basketball, and it looks like we have 38 kids. So a really successful program. That's just 2 grade levels right there, and we might be able to field 6 teams there. So we're really looking forward to that. In the middle school gym, DJ has a great background with social media as well as sports, so he's been working on flyers on Canva to get the word out for the kindergarten through 4th grade basketball signups coming in January. Park rentals finished in the summer strong. We had 3 of them the weekend of the 23rd to the 24th. 2 more soccer weekends to go, so if you haven't got out there yet, get out there and hopefully sunny, enjoy the sun. And we got 2 more rounds going. It's fun to see the referees, because a lot of these kids, it's their first job. So it's really fun to see them grow. And they start out, they're kind of shy. They don't want to blow their whistle and things like that. So we coach them up, tell them, you're in charge. Blow that whistle if you need to. Shout out to Doug Briggs. I don't know if you guys know Doug, but Doug is, I call him a professional referee. Does a lot of college and high school refereeing. We did a little, about an hour-long clinic with all the soccer referees before our kickoff weekend, and that went really well. So that's something to put away in the memory for future soccer seasons. We already heard about the Bayfield homecoming. They did submit 2 parade routes. Route 1 was much more logistically sound, and it's been gone over with Chief and Jeremy as well. And Jeremy, we're going to do the rolling kind of blockade with the flashy trucks, because you got to kind of start at one end because it's a pretty big loop, and then you got to get back around. I did let them know they needed to let Lewis Merck know if they're going to destage in their parking lot, as well as all those businesses on Center Drive, TBK Bank, Family Dollar, things of that nature. On the clerk side of things, ballot proofs have been received and approved for the upcoming coordinated election. You should see your blue Tabor books soon on that. And we talk a lot about budget, so I thought I'd throw a little bit of budget on this year's update. So in the budget, in programs, which is a huge piece of the recreation budget, we're actually $26,000 under the budget this year. And we're $8,000 over revenue projections in youth sports already. And we still got a couple more to go. And that's without 5th and 6th grade basketball. And adult sports were $5,200 over in special events, and $1,300 over in adult sports. Be frank, I sent it off for concurrent review pending your guys' approval and my signature, and that happened tonight. So we should be ready to go on that event. Busy day, October 21st, we start 5th and 6th grade basketball that morning, and we have Be Frank that night. Any questions for me?
So I just like to offer a comment. Dustin has been really good at basically taking in applications for parades and Be Frank and some of these special events. And, 3 years ago, I never thought we would save $13,000 in workers' comp. But just having somebody that's paying attention to safety, has employees watching videos, and I'm sure the Board of Trustees can't wait to get their video assignment. But just doing that, decreases our liability and decreases the expenditure that we're looking at. So I really appreciate that we're doing, and not only is it expenditure-wise, but it's body and people and individual-wise as well as what we're protecting, so.
Yeah, Bayfield Heritage Days, the parade was kind of fun to pick Jeremy's brain about it and Chiefs and watch him exit up Pine, just coming up with new and better ideas how we can get better at our event too. Because ours is going to be obviously probably times 20 of that parade, but so trying the Pine exit route and things like that, and just for my own learning, watching where all the barriers go, because I forget about some of the little alleys and side street connectors that I would have not seen had Jeremy and his crew not got out there and got it done. So
I'll say DJ's doing a really good job. I don't know how many emails and reminders I've gotten, but my kids aren't old enough to do 5th and 6th grade basketball. So.
well, your sign-up's coming soon.
Yeah, like we're ready for that
we
one.
can
But yeah,
get 'em in
I've
there.
been getting a lot of reminders, and it's reminding me to keep an eye out for the younger groups. So.
He's been working on we talked
doing
about the reusable jerseys last budget session. He's been doing a lot of work on that with me kind of just overseeing it. We've only got one quote in so far, quite a bit higher than I'd like to see. So I'm waiting on one from Half Price Tees in Durango, as well as Copyright in Farmington. So we are working on that as well.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you, Dustin. All right, we'll move on to our financial action agenda. Do we have any public input pertaining to items 6A through E on the agenda? If not, we'll move on to our August 2023 financial statements.
Okay, well, the first thing I want to do is, Katie touched it briefly, but I want to explain why the original document was incorrect at the last board meeting. It was due to a step that was accidentally missed by the utility billing department when they closed the month, and they skipped over updating the general ledger, so our financials didn't reflect that we had billed for any water, sewer, or garbage, and it also didn't reflect that we had collected any money, which all of that was totally inaccurate because we had done it. So we have since, Dustin and I've met, we've gone through it, we've made sure that there's a process in place, the checklist in place, so that doesn't happen anymore. So we have gone back, re-updated. Those numbers are reflected in the documents that you received in your packet tonight. So that's good. In the general fund, the severance tax and the federal mineral leasing, you'll notice that it has been moved to the general fund from the capital improvement fund, as per your approval. In the general fund, we've also received the second quarter HIDA reimbursement. So we are getting those funds. It just took us a little time to get it started, but we got it. A new line item has been created in the general fund. You'll notice that it's it's called charge service fees, and that was created in order to separate out the service fee that we collect when we take credit card payments. We receive a fee. And that money had been going into miscellaneous revenue. So it was inflating what our miscellaneous revenue really looked like. And because it really is a fee, it should have its own line item. So that has been moved, it's been separated, so it is up to date. And there was also $116,000 in the general fund's miscellaneous revenue, which was the fiber lease from Clear Networks. It was their fiber lease payment. So that has been put in the street fund where it should have been all along. So that's been moved. You'll notice in the water and sewer funds that both saw credits this month to the plant investment fees. That was a result of some new construction building permits. For the month of August, we received a total of $48,427 in interest off of our college trust funds. And at this point, 67% of the year has lapsed, and at this point, all of our funds are trending the way they should. Everything seems to be going well. Do you have any questions?
Okay, questions or comments? On the August 2023 financials, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the August 2023 financial statements.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Zazzaro.
Yes.
Excuse me. Trustee Hartz.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkenton.
Yes. All right, moving on to our September 2023 disbursements. Kathy, did you have anything to add?
anything to add unless you have questions.
Board have questions for Kathy? Nope. I would entertain a motion to accept the September 2023 disbursements.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept the September 2023 disbursements.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Zazzaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
Yes, sorry.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkenton.
Yes. All right, moving on to our Parks and Trails request. I think we kind of went through all this and our reasoning behind it and the fact that it's time saver. I don't know if you have questions for Mark, any other questions for Mark, or any comments or questions for on any of those items.
Well, I just have one thing. It looks like we're taking funds that used to be for another project and replacing them with this. Do we have intentions of next year putting those other funds back on the budget, or is that?
So most of that was the $120,000 for a restroom at Little Pine, for that recreation, and the engineer and basically constructing water and sewer lines we were getting close to $500,000, so that was removed. So I think we kind of have to rethink that whole thing. It's not coming
Okay.
back in 2024. Again, it's a capital improvement that you
Right.
can afford,
I got you.
whereas, anyway.
All right, any comments from the board? I just have a weird, I just remember last year having a really hard time getting stuff in. Are these things that we can go get and
Yeah.
they're available?
I have current quotes. Bobcat may take some time. I know with the sweeper, or the parking lot sweeper that we got from them took about 6 months. It'd be nice to be able to get the snow plow and the lawn sweeper ASAP, but currently I have quotes. I have no input on how long it's gonna take.
Okay. All right, then I would entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the $22,647 for the 72-inch snowplow, Bobcat, 90-inch mower deck, and sweeper attachments, reallocating the original park requested capital improvement budgeted in 2023 to this current request.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Zazzaro.
Yes.
Trustee Harts.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkenton.
Yes. All right, moving on to the senior center, ADA ramps and remodel supplies. I think we kind of touched on this. I don't know if the board has any other questions.
I would like to get a quote on the handicap ramps if you determine that you'd like to move forward with that, to get another, at least one more quote on those handicap ramps, so we have that in place. The $5,000 is just a lot of miscellaneous items that were done at the senior center, and
So, I mean, would the idea be to approve the 5,000 to finish up all the miscellaneous and then table the ramps until, okay,
until you get
more
some
information,
more
okay.
information.
Is the board good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the $5,000 to complete the remodel and table the replacement of the handicap ramps until we have additional quotes.
Second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Zazzaro.
Yes.
Trustee Harts.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Sorry, I should have asked a question before.
You can throw it in now.
Do we have a list of, an itemized list of what's going to be captured with this 5,000? Or is this, are we allocating money a bit arbitrary?
It's
That's
on
not
there.
arbitrary.
It's a
So-
water fountain, vinyl-based
Yeah, so
replacement,
we
rewrap
have-
of the sound panels.
Yeah, we
Shelving.
purchased a water fountain. There was no water fountain in the senior center, surprisingly.
Okay.
And it's also ADA compliant. We'll get that hooked up. It'd be an electrician to not only purchase the water fountain, but finish hooking the water fountain up to cool the water. There's vinyl-based replacement, so in other words, we painted the building, so basically all that kick plate or base had to be replaced, plus adhesive. We're having some issues finding all that adhesive, basically, to nail that baseboard down. Rewrap the sound panels. You may remember that there's sound panels up on the, up high, basically for sound. And they took them, we put them back up, and they were all dusty, and here we have a brand-new paint job, and you could really see that they had been dingy. So they rewrapped those. The senior The shelving that we moved out of the closet, we put back into the commercial kitchen side, but there's no shelving basically. Well, there is shelving for the senior side, but it doesn't fit basically the space that it was intended for. So we need to build basically some a structure basically to the sides of the cabinet and give them more space for shelving and space in there.
Do we have quotes for, I mean, do we have
Oh,
a
yeah.
handy, okay, all right.
Yeah, the kitchen gate, basically to separate the commercial kitchen from the warming kitchen is also needed basically to protect and keep that sanitized based on restaurant standards or serving standards.
Okay. Yes.
Trustee Ah
Yay.
and Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, the 2023 wastewater treatment facility improvements award. Jeremy?
Yeah, so we bid the nutrient removal project. Fortunately, we got one bid. It seems to be how things have been progressing with some of these larger projects. But there was a memo from SGM, our town engineer, and Public Works is comfortable. This is the same contractor that built the plant in 2007, and so I think they'll do a great job, and it did come in under budget. So it's underneath the original engineer's estimate of $500,000. So we feel we should proceed with TKF and award the nutrient and diffuser replacement project.
Jeremy, why was it so far under the $5,000 budgeted amount?
500,000?
500,000, yeah, sorry. That's not 500.
We got favorable pricing.
Wow, okay.
When it came back in, yeah. So, and usually the engineer's estimate has a contingency, and with not knowing the amount of the solids we may be handling, I think they had a 30% contingency in there instead of the 10.
Okay.
So they were just making sure that engineers don't like to come in under. So,
Okay,
but-
no, sounds good.
All right, any further questions? We'll need a motion.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to award the WWTF improvements to TKF for $292,375.
Second. Thousand.
Yeah. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Cesaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah
Yay.
and Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, moving on to our action agenda items. Do we have any public comment for items 7A through G? Seeing none, we'll move on to La Plata County Patrol IGA.
Several months ago, we did a review of our patrol jurisdiction within the town limits, and I found out that we were vastly underserving our community by not having traffic enforcement authority all along 501 or along Bayfield Parkway, even 160. So with the town manager, I requested a meeting with the sheriff's office to see if we can get a traffic enforcement authority, IGA, which will allow us to patrol and have traffic enforcement authority from Highway 160 from Bayfield Parkway on the west end all the way to mile marker 104.5 on the east end. We'll also have all of 501 from what they call all the stop signs right here, 8 corners. We'll have 501 all the way out to mile marker number 2 to enforce traffic authority. And then along Buck Highway at Mars Drive, we only get 1 stop sign. The other 2 are not ours, so we'll have all of them now. And then all the contributing roads that meet into 160, Bayfield Parkway, and 501, like 509, 516, those stop signs there, we'll be able to enforce those now. So we'll be able to control traffic and provide better safety environment for the school districts, for our community, and for all the traffic coming through town. We'll be able to control and monitor it a lot better and provide a lot more safety on our roadways.
I just can't believe how spotty that was.
Yeah, I want to give you kudos for going to that extent and trying to get that taken care of.
Thank you.
When I heard about it, I was a little shocked.
Sorry, can't stop
Yep,
you at that
whoops.
stop sign. Nope, not our jurisdiction. Move over
Just
5
go
feet.
ahead.
Yeah, we'll get you at the next one. Thank you. Thank you,
And,
especially the Mars ones.
Attorney Goldman, I know you've been busy in this section. You had a lot to look over, and you're good with the IGA as.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I made a couple of suggested changes. Specifically, there's really no such thing as a La Plata County Justice Court. It's just the La Plata County Court. So, remove the word justice. It'll be fine.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yes.
well done, Chief O'Day.
Well, thanks.
All right, does the board have any other questions?
I actually have a question. So the intersection with Mars Drive, are you saying that we could only enforce at one of the 3 stop signs?
That is
Yep.
correct. The
Okay.
other 2 are not in city limits.
No, we've been watching cars run that stop
Oh,
sign
yeah.
since we moved.
Oh, I bet
Like,
you
we
have a great
I was
view.
like, I knew it happened, but when you can actually watch it happening, coming into town, it's incredible.
I bet
And-
Phyllis gets a good view of that one too.
Yeah.
Well, just right here at,
could get rich.
That's what I'm thinking.
Honestly.
Can we use that towards the general fund?
well, Bayfield Parkway, right here where we have all 8 stop signs in that whole little area, I only get 1 stop sign in that whole area.
It baffles me.
Wow.
The rest of it
Okay.
is not ours.
Probably not the one that's needed, is it?
That is, you are correct.
We need to get the flashing light there at Mars fixed. The county needs to get on that. And the trees need to get trimmed too,
Yeah, they do. You can't see the stop sign.
But yeah, I'm gonna go sit on your porch and sit and count
Yeah.
one night.
No, we watched 4 in a row. I was like, what?
Well, maybe if we actually can enforce it, we can actually trim it.
Yeah.
So.
No, yeah.
There's a little pull off just right there. Just park it right there. You'll be fine. We'll be flush with cash soon. Okay.
All right, so we need a motion.
Sorry.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize Mayor Tarkington to execute the La Plata County Patrol IGA.
Can I just add, by removing Justice Court and adding county court?
By removing Justice Court and adding County Court.
I'll second that.
All right. Roll call, please.
Trustee Cesaro,
Yes.
Trustee Hartz,
Yes.
Trustee Moreland,
Yes.
Trustee Thomas,
Yes.
Trustee Wolf,
Yes.
Trustee Ah,
Yay.
and Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. SWAT Assistance Mutual Aid. Chief O'Gay?
When I started here several months ago, one of the things is that we were not blending in with other agencies throughout the county, so I've been trying to get our officers to be more involved with outside agencies. And one of them that we were able to start blending into quicker was the SWAT team. Officer Gallegos attended his first SWAT course. He passed everything like that. He has been training with them, and they are going to have a tryout shortly for Officer Gallegos to be a full-fledged member. The cost of us being a part of the team is only for us to pay for his salary and any equipment that he may or may not need. Right now, he's fully equipped, and he does train on his work days and on his off days, because it's usually during the day shift, so we do have coverage, so we don't have to have any overtime or anything like that. And this will allow us to blend in more with the region, getting our officers out there and get our name as Bayfield Police Department out there in more viable context.
All right, good deal. Any other questions or comments?
So we're not going to lose any of his time?
I said no. Oh, no, sir.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
All right, any other questions or comments? We need a motion as well.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize Mayor Tarkington to execute the SWAT Assistance Mutual Aid after the document has been edited for textual changes.
I'll second that.
All right, any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Cesaro,
Yes.
Trustee Hartz,
Yes.
Trustee Moreland,
Yes.
Trustee Thomas,
Yes.
Trustee Wolf,
Yes.
Trustee Ah,
Yay.
and Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, we have our dark fiber items.
Yeah, so actually, I saw these agreements just as Southwest COG was being basically merged into Region 9. And at the time I looked at them, it just seemed like there was a lot of things that just didn't seem to make sense to me. It kind of went away. I just sent it back. I think I sent it back to Region I, said, just explain this and this. Well, when I went through them and read the next three, the three that we got just recently, they all seem to make sense, and it's just an update from there. And they were sent to Town Attorney Goldman. Of course, I think that it looks like they have been also vetted in other communities as well, so.
We had a pretty thorough discussion on that at the executive board for Region 9 as well, so, been kind of watching these go around for a while now, but I think we're in a good place with them. So, does anybody have any questions on any one? Can we approve these in one fell swoop, or do we need?
Why is it called dark fiber?
That is the fiber that's already run through town
That's not lit.
No, it's
so
just
it doesn't
dark.
have, yeah, so we have it,
Okay.
it's here, we just, nobody's operating
Oh,
it.
since it's not being used, it's dark fiber.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
It's like the dark web.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
No, not quite.
That's what I was thinking too.
I'm telling you, I sit in some of these meetings, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm like, what? Why
It's just
are-
not turned on.
Lots of acronyms.
Okay.
It's like the lights are turned off, not.
And that's where like
dark
Clear
web.
Networks is connecting and all these other ISPs are connecting
Well, right now, it's
to?
dark fiber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mayor Tarkington, I would address each
One, okay.
agreement separately.
So,
Darn.
let's look at the dark fiber agent designation.
So then,
I
hold
want
on.
that job.
I
Yeah.
still, so I understand what it is that we're approving the lease agreements for. So these different entities, then they could all, like, be competing against each other to provide service? Utilizing
They
the
could lease
fiber?
it. Mhm.
So,
So the first one is agent designation. So in other words, we're designating Region 9 to be an agent to collect the funds for the dark fiber. And before it was Southwest Cog, which is now
absorbed by
part of
Region 9.
Region 9.
okay. So we already had someone who was going to collect this, and now we're updating it to the correct entity?
Yep.
Or the one that's
Okay.
in existence, okay. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize Mayor Tarkington to execute the dark fiber agent designation. Sounds so,
I'll second that.
All right.
it sounds so
Sure you
Batman.
want this
Roll call, please.
this authorization?
Trustee Zazzaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
Yes.
Trustee Marlin.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, the dark fiber lease agreement, Ting.
What's a ting?
Fiber ISP, Internet Service Provider.
Why does it not say that?
So when they lease the dark fiber, is it like just a portion, or is it everyone is leasing the fiber and then you,
They've been identified as actually where they're leasing that fiber that the town may own. I don't have a map of that, but at one time I had a map, but,
And I still think there's a ton that we don't know about.
yeah.
okay.
That
Well,
they
no,
will
I'm
be.
just curious, I mean, is
Just show
one
up.
gonna be providing better pricing or services
It
than
depends
another?
if they have fiber to your home or accessible. So Clear Networks, that's their goal, is to be across, everywhere in town.
So but I'm not I'm seeing Ting and the other, the Vero.
Yes,
Well, I don't
Ting and
see-
Vero, so those are two ISPs, or internet service providers, that have access to our conduit, and maybe I'll have Jeremy correct me if I'm wrong. And currently, right now, whether they may not serve anywhere in town, they may just have that fiber in the conduit.
But then what's Clear Networks?
Clear
guarding this?
Networks is owned by Vero.
Clear Networks, you're probably gonna see, that's why they paid $116,000, is they actually paid for the lease of that for 20 years.
So they're already leasing it, so these people can't do anything for 20 years?
No, there's multiple
No,
strands.
there's the many strands and a
Oh.
conduit.
Okay, sorry, I'm just not
I know,
understanding
it's,
at all.
So a lot of the leasing of town infrastructure is there's multiple interducts in different places that are buried. So you could have upwards of 4 to 5 different ISP providers depending on where they are. So the update from Vero, they're formerly Cedar Networks.
Okay.
If you guys remember them, they were here a while back. They sold out. Vero took over for them. I'm not sure who Ting is, but Ting runs through a portion of the town's infrastructure as well. And then, as you know, Fast Track through LPEA services only commercial customers. So Fast Track will not service a residential customer, where Clear Networks comes in, they're focusing on the residential side and not necessarily as much as the commercial.
Okay.
If that explains.
Well, yeah, so Vero and Clear Networks, so we already did the agreement with Clear Networks, and now we're doing agreements with
Because
Vero.
Clear Networks no longer exists, they're Vero now.
So
You're basically renewing that Clear Networks contract.
Okay.
Or not the Clear Networks, Cedar.
Cedar, Cedar.
Yes.
Sorry.
Cedar Networks, so they
Vero.
serve Clover Phase 7. So you're basically just correcting the name from the original ISP provider to be current right now, because that agreement's out of date.
Okay, so then everywhere else where we're digging and lining.
Those are all new set of headaches.
Okay, so, okay, so that's not either of these people are already in, and then Clear Networks, where they're digging up my neighborhood, they are then in that neighborhood.
Yep, they will provide services residential through there.
Oh, okay, all right.
So,
okay, we need a
Thank you,
motion
thank you for the explanation.
for the lease agreement. Ting?
Sure, Madam Mayor, I make a motion to authorize Mayor Tarkington to execute the dark fiber lease agreement Ting.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Zazzaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes, and the dark fiber lease agreement, Vero.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize Mayor Tarkington to execute the dark fiber lease agreement Vero.
A second.
All right, roll call.
Trustee Zazzaro.
Yes.
Trustee Hartz.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, ordinance 495.
So ordinance 495 was edited by the town attorney, so that I copied for you out. I thought I could format some of these odd chapter formatting before I had to print it, but that just was not going to happen before the 5:30 meeting start today. Actually, we started drafting this in May, when we were thinking about changing the parking from head-in and parallel to either side of the street. And then Public Works or myself wanted to put it aside and kind of deal with it when we got closer to snow season. Well, by the time this is published and 30 days in effect, it'll be November.
Yes.
So it may be time to have a snow removal policy, which is in here within this street. So a lot of the ordinance was 1978. Some of them, there was a couple that was 1972 in the old, and I actually gave you the old ordinance, of the old code. And then, so almost everything in here is 20 to 45 years old, almost more than 45 years old. So it's just time to change them. You know, the whole town manager issue about snow route, that doesn't happen, never has happened since I've been here. I didn't know what happened before, or Jeremy didn't know what happened. So we will, if this is adopted, we will have to go through and change some signs. There'll have to be no parking on the south side of Mill Street so that we can clear snow out in those times. And of course, then snow removal, you know, people pushing snow into the street off their sidewalk, that's also not allowed. But a little more clarity basically in this as well.
The board have any questions?
So Katie, if we update this to have the snow removal, do we have any kind of, other than the signs, any kind of alert system? I know I get all the alerts from Silverton when they're doing snow removal and road closures, and they'll say, you know, south side of Green Street's closed for snow removal, and I get a Nixle alert. Do we have any access to that kind of alerting to residents in the town or the businesses in the town so they know what's going on?
So I think this is going to take a lot of notification, putting just like we do for Fourth of July parade, is putting, letters in windshields, and by the way, you can't park on this side of the street this time of the year until, snow season is done.
Okay.
And we don't have an alert system. When you looked at that software cost,
Yeah.
that's just another software cost that we would be looking at basically to implement that. So it's going to be a lot of personal contacts, windshield notices and everything else. And then at some point, you may have to tow a car, and that will be somebody will say, oh, I didn't know that. Well, now you do.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
Madam Mayor, make a motion to approve ordinance 495.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Zazzaro.
Yes.
Trustee Harts.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, Resolution 586, utility relief for 2024.
So and actually, just so you were aware, the ordinance has a snow route, so your next meeting will have a resolution adopting a snow route and right-of-way fees and some other things, just so you're aware of that. That'll come, that is a little easier to change in a resolution versus an ordinance. So Resolution 586, I recall that maybe one utility relief funding that I had limited to a certain amount, and then when I was going through the budget, it's like, oh, we're going to be over by the time we're done with the end of the year. But the resolution that we adopted in 2022 for 2023 did not have a max limit on it. And so I got all the way done editing it, and I'm like, well, either I could wait until we adopt utility rates, or basically just go ahead and give this to you today. Now, you can wait or table it until we actually adopt utility rates. But the big difference for this one is stormwater. So in other words, they may be accustomed to maybe a slight increase for water, sewer, and garbage. But the day they get that stormwater bill, it may be too much for people that are on that leap. So we wanted to make sure that there was kind of some extra cushion. If somebody gets a $10 or $15 stormwater fee, that they have a little bit, they would be credited that half of that at least for stormwater to help them kind of ease into that new fee, especially those that are at households that are eligible for LEAP and may not be ready for another $10, $15 utility fee.
What's the thoughts from the board? I wouldn't mind moving ahead. I think that there's a cushion in there. Just because we all looked at it tonight. There's any
And
questions?
I like helping people that are not used to the fees or have a little hard time, that they have a little relief using this too. Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 586, utility relief for year 2024.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Zazzaro.
Yes.
Trustee Harts.
Yes.
Trustee Moreland.
Yes.
Trustee Thomas.
Yes.
Trustee Wolf.
Yes.
Trustee Ah.
Yay.
And Mayor Tarkington.
Yes. All right, you have your upcoming dates of interest. Put it in your calendar. If there's no other comments, I will adjourn this meeting. It is 8:01.
You want these binders, right?
If I could at least get the binders by the next meeting, would be appreciated. So
Can I
if
leave
I
it?
can get them today, better.
Oh, just leave it today.
So like on these,
What time
does
is
that
the
mean
working
that's who we
session
paid?
on the 17th?
So
5:30
why
again?
the heck are they getting?
No?
See you in the morning.
That could have been a mistake.
Okay.
What is it?